Hi, I'm Alexis deBoschnek, and for this week in quarantine cooking, I'm going to make a super simple pantry pasta with walnuts, wilted greens, and panko. Let's get started. This is one of my favorite weeknight pasta dishes because it only takes a handful of ingredients and it's a great way to use up all those greens that are on the way out. Here's what you need. Salad greens. I'm also using a head of radicchio, garlic, Parmesan, walnuts or another type of nut, salt, of course, pepper flakes, olive oil, pasta. I'm using Bucatini, but you could use any pasta you have at home, and panko. First up, we're gonna mince the garlic. I'm gonna use about 3 cloves of garlic because I like garlic. I'm sure most of you have your own methods of mincing at home, but this is a really easy one. Take your chef's knife, put it down on the garlic, and use the back of your hand to just smash it down like that. You can just peel the skin of the garlic away. Isn't that like a million times easier? Comes right out. The garlic is peeled, so I'm just going to slice off this little nubby bit at the end. And then start by thinly slicing the garlic. Once the garlic is thinly sliced, you just keep going back and forth until it gets really finely minced. It's important that the garlic is all the same size. That way it's going to cook evenly. If you have a big piece of garlic and a little piece of garlic, the little one's going to burn, the big one's going to need more time. That goes for all chopping and why you want it to be the same size. You can just use your finger to scrape the garlic off like that. Just the smell of the garlic alone, I'm so excited. Okay, moving on to the walnuts. You know, I like the meaty texture that walnuts add, so I'm gonna leave them pretty big. You know, this is a rough chop here. That looks great. I'm just gonna add them back to the bowl. Whoop. And if you're using something like radicchio, this is the time to chop it. You know, mine is pretty sad, so I've got to peel off all of these like bad outer layers. I mean, we're not gonna eat that. But if you peel them away underneath, I swear it's fine. You know, I never want to waste, but especially not in a quarantine. So, radicchio is peeled. I'm just going to slice off this nasty bottom here. And then thinly slice the radicchio, add it to the greens, and then everything is minced out. I know this seems like a lot of greens, but it's all going to cook down. Okay, moving over here. So I've got to put the pasta water on, putting it on high, and I'm gonna generously salt the water. My first day of culinary school, the teacher was like, "What do you think a pinch of salt is?" And everyone's like, "A pinch." And he was like, "This is a pinch, wah." And I always think about that when I think of how to properly salt pasta water. The salty water is what's gonna flavor the pasta, so you want it to be flavorful. The water should taste like the sea, salty like the sea. Once this comes to a boil, I'll add the pasta. In the meantime, I'm gonna toast up some panko. So I'm gonna add a few glugs of oil to the pan, get it hot, add the panko. And make sure to coat it completely with oil. I'm only using about a half cup of panko, you know, just to add some texture. I don't want this to be like Panko City fully coated here. And it cooks really quickly, so don't leave the stove. It's gonna happen in like 2 minutes. You just want it to get golden brown and toasty. You can use the same technique to make toasted panko and put it on just about everything. I put it on roasted vegetables, eggs. It's like truly a game changer in terms of making everything better. So you can see the color starting to change here. Some of it's golden brown, some of it's still pale. At this point, you also want to stir pretty consistently so that it doesn't burn. Look how fast this is going. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna set the panko aside for later. Now it's time to saute the greens. But first, looks like the pasta water's boiling. Time for the bucatini to go in. Okay, set a timer. Onto the greens. So again, I'm gonna add some more olive oil to this pan. It has a little bit of panko in it, but it's fine, not the end of the world. I'm gonna start by adding the walnuts and toasting them for about a minute before I add the garlic. If you don't have any nuts or you have an allergy, leave them out. The star of the show is really the greens. Once the walnuts are toasted for about a minute, it's time to add the garlic and the red pepper flakes. And I'm toasting it for about 30 seconds, just until it's really aromatic. It smells like truly insane. Okay, I've got my greens and gonna add them and just stir until they're wilted down. I know this looks like so many greens, and it is, but look, they're gonna cook down. Look how many it is. It's gonna go way down. Gonna add a little salt to season. This is my version of a little salt. So this has been about a minute, and you can see how much they've already cooked down. Okay, the greens are wilted, and I'm just gonna remove them from the heat. Pasta's ready to go. I'm gonna just take a little bit of that pasta water and save it. It's what chefs call liquid gold. And obviously, drain the pasta in a colander in the sink. Just getting that residual water off the pasta. Also getting a facial. At-home facial, you know? Okay. So you're gonna take some tongs and like a splash of that pasta water you saved, and then mix everything together. The pasta water is gonna help the pasta from sticking together. It's also gonna make everything kind of like creamy. So just get it nice and stirred up like that. If it's sticking together, just add a little more. If you're nervous about the pasta water, just start with a tablespoon at a time. I swear it works, but the first time I did it, I was nervous too. I was like, does this work? Is this witchcraft? What is this? Okay, now time for the panko. Yum, 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 yum. And just toss it. You can see that it's lightly coating the noodles, but you know, not like clumpy. Okay, I think I'm ready to serve. I'm just gonna plate this, add some cheese, and then it's finally lunchtime. The only note about plating is to make sure that you're getting all that great walnut and panko stuff that kind of clings to the bottom of the pan. So just make sure you're getting that too, because that's the good stuff. Nice. And the last thing, some grated parm. If you don't have Parmesan, you could use another hard, salty cheese like pecorino, or if you're vegan, skip the cheese. It's my favorite part. I'm using a microplane. It's like one of my favorite kitchen tools. You can use it for zesting, you can use it for cheese, for ginger, garlic. Very versatile tool. Okay, I think we're finally ready to eat. If you like this video, you can like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, do all the things. I'll see you next week with more quarantine cooking.